Hello there guys! For today's video, I'm going to show you how to create a paper cutout effect in Photoshop. And also, we will dive deeper into creating a new document, applying a paper background layer, cutting out our subject, creating a clipping mask, changing blend modes, and creating a folder for our cutout layers. So let's get started. So as you can see here, we are at the homepage of the Photoshop. And the first step we're going to do here is we're going to create a new document. So to do that, while on this page, I'm going to click on Create New. And I'm going to set the custom from 16 by 9 centimeter. Click on this one and then select Create. And the next step we're going to do here, first is we're going to put on our background layer. Well, actually, I already prepared here 3 kinds of assets. So the first one will be our paper background. The second one is this crumpled paper layout. And this image that will serve as our subject. Okay, so the first step we're going to do here is I'm going to the paper background. I'm going to click on Move Tool and click and drag it into our original document and release. Okay, and there you go. All right, so first I'm going to rotate this layer. To do that, selected on this layer, I'm going to press Ctrl plus T for the transformation command, and now I'm now able to rotate this paper background. Okay, there you go. And I can also expand this by clicking and dragging this anchor point on the side of the transformation command, like this, okay, to increase the size. All right, and there you go. Now this will serve as our background. Right, and another thing, now I'm going to rename this layer as our paper background. Okay, there you go. All right, and then selected on the paper background, I'm going to click this one to lock this. All right, I'm going to lock that. And for the background layer, I'm going to remove this one. Just click on it and then press backspace. And there you go. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my videos to other nerds like us. Going back, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to move our subject layer on this document. Okay, so to do that, so going on this document, still I'm going to click on the Move tool and then click and drag it into our original background layer. And there you go. All right, so you can see the size is too big. With that layer selected, I'm going to press Ctrl plus T and then adjust the anchor points to decrease the size. All right, now I'm good with this. Okay, the next step we're going to do here is we're going to duplicate this layer. So yes, select on this layer, press Ctrl plus J to create a duplicate. Now once I did that, you can see there are already a copy of it. Okay, so on this layer, I'm gonna rename this one as Cutout. And for the other one, this will serve as our subject. And there you go. All right, and the next step we're gonna do here, I'm gonna hide first the subject layer. Hide this one first. And I'm going to select on the Cutout layer. And in this part, I'm going to make use of a polygonal lasso tool. So to find the polygonal lasso tool, let's go to the toolbar. Let's go into the third tool, first, second, third. Right click on it. Under lasso tool, it's the polygonal lasso tool. And then I'm going to create a selection. And I'm going to put some allowance or space from the subject when I'm masking it like this. And there you go. I already created a selection around our subject. And then, once we already have the selection, I'm going to the bottom right here and click this one, add a mask. Okay. All right. So actually, we already cut out this part. All right. So the next step here is I'm going to click on the subject layer and then click on this to make it visible again. Okay. And the next step here is I am going to select on the subject without an allowance or space. To do that, while this subject layer is selected, I'm going to find the quick selection tool. So go into the toolbar. I'm going to click on the fourth tool. Okay. So you can see this is the symbol of the quick selection tool. And then go up here and select subject. And Photoshop will automatically create a selection to our subject. And there you go. All right. And you will also notice on this part that there are areas that aren't selected. So to fix that, I'm going to click on this, right? Add a mask, okay? All right, and then keep on clicking and dragging to select on those area. Okay. All right. Now I'm good with this. And then after that, I'm going to add a mask once again. Okay. So just click on this. All right. Now there are. This is the subject layer and this is the cutout layer. All right. So the next step we're going to do here is we're going to bring the crumpled paper in the other document that I showed you a while ago. Okay. So actually it's this one. Okay. So the same thing, I'm going to make use of the move tool here. So this one, click on this and click and drag it into our original document. Okay, just release it like that. All right. Now you can see that we already bring this layer here. All right. And then I'm going to decrease the size because I think the size is too much. Okay. So yes, selected on that layer. Press Ctrl plus T. Okay, and adjust the anchor points to decrease the size. And another thing here, I'm going to bring this layer under the subject layer at the middle of the cutout layer and the subject layer. All right. So once I did that, I already have this effect, right? Okay. Then the next step I'm gonna do here is I'm going to hide first the subject layer, right? And then select on this crumpled paper layer. I'm going to right click on it and then select on create clipping mask. So once I did that, it already went to the cutout layer. See? Okay, and I'm going to bring the subject layer back. Okay, so I'm gonna tick on that. All right, so now we already have this effect. Okay, so to make the image look realistic, we're going to change the blend mode. So with this subject layer selected, I'm going to click on this, right? So this for the blending modes. Okay, so I'm going to click on this arrow down and then choose on multiply, all right? Okay, if you want to explore the other effects, yeah, you may. All right, just like the dark, just like the linear blur. Yeah, actually that looks totally fine as well. Or even the color blur. See? Okay, but for this video, I'm going to choose multiply for now. Okay? All right, now we already have this image. It's cool, right? Okay, and the next step we're going to do here is we're going to bring these 3 layers into one folder. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to press Control, click on the subject layer, click on the layer 1, click on the cutout layer, and then we already select all those 3, and then go at the bottom, select on this, and you can see I already create a folder of those 3 layers. See? Okay. All right. So why do I do that? Okay, because if you want to adjust the size of our layer, or if you still want to change some effects on it, now you may still be able to fix it, right? Okay. All right. If for the size, just click on the group on this folder, group 1 layer, press Ctrl plus T for the transformation command, and you, look at that. I can able to adjust the layer. See? All right. And the last step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a drop shadow on this group layer. All right. So to do that, select on this, double click on that. All right. And this layer style dialog box will appear. All right. And then I'm going to tick on the drop shadow, click on that. All right. And then click on this. All right. Now we may be able to adjust the options for the drop shadow. Okay. So for the opacity, I'm going to bring that to 100 for the opacity. Okay, for the distance, I'm going to lessen this one. For the spread, I'm going to lessen this one as well. And for the size, I'm going to lessen this one as well. Okay, okay, now this one looks cool. So I already set the distance to 12 pixels. For the spread to 7%. For the size to 13 pixels. Okay, and the angle to 90%. And for the opacity, it's on 100%. Okay, and once done, select OK. All right, now I'm gonna show you the before and after. So this one is the before, and this one is the after. And that is how to create a paper cutout effect in Photoshop.